Good morning and welcome to today's video. Now in today's video we'll do things a bit differently. This is as I usually cover the news, then I cover the index expiring that day, but today I will cover the news, after which instead of covering the bank Nifty expiry, I'm taking a look at two big banking stocks. Why am I doing so? Is when going through stocks last night, I'm saying last night even though I'm recording this at night, is when I'm going through stocks, I think there's a lot of shorting opportunities coming up in big F&O stocks. Whether you look at the aviation sector, whether you look at FMCG, whether you look at banking, whether you look at the paint sector, there is a lot of shorting opportunities coming up. And I think anyone who is doing option trading in positional should now put the focus more on stock options in the next coming of days, because it will provide much more of a profit-making opportunity than what will be provided in the index. This is, I think, the bank Nifty, Sensex, and all are going to provide better opportunities in intraday options, but stock options will give good opportunities in positional options. I personally have already opened some option sales in certain stock options, and in the coming days I'll be also doing option buys in the positional form in certain stock options. So that is why I've chosen two big banking names. This is as there is also other banking stocks that are looking ripe for shorting as they have reached a certain point on the chart. Whether you look at smaller banks like PNB or larger banks like Kotak and HDFC, they are coming very ripe for shorting. It is just going to take a bit of a push and they will be good for it. But now today we are going to focus on Axis and ICICI. This is, I think, both are also starting to develop the pattern, and if they do certain things, then we'll get a good shot in them. Now, instead of waffling on, now let's take a look at the news. Now, yesterday's market, the indexes really went nowhere. The main reason of that was China's big stimulus package. Now, the China's big stimulus package, now, what did it mainly contain? They cut interest rates. They changed the reserve requirement ratio for banks. They basically also did a cut there. So that frees up capital to lend. They cut mortgage rates by 50 basis points. They introduced new swap lines to corporates and banks, which will give them a capital injection. Now this, when we look at it, why it held the market yesterday and it might hold the market for days to come on certain things, is this is the biggest stimulus package China has had since the pandemic. But I think, and I've seen even some who similar, that this is a short-term bump, as it's not big enough to drive up demand, because if you look at China's data, the consumer confidence and everything is very low, and this is basically a band-aid in an attempt to avert a deeper slowdown, but I don't think it's going to do much. So on the news front, the first is the China, which yesterday had played out during the day, but I expect it to play out throughout the coming days also. Then the second data point, which came out at night when I'm recording this video, is the German Eiffel data. Now that has come in weaker, and this was something that was expected. This is as the German economy is not doing well, and it had got a small bump due to the whole of Europe basically got a bit of a bump because of the Olympics, but now that is over and the data is starting to reflect that reality. Now on the Indian front, local news front, as of when I'm recording this video, there is one positive news. The Moody's has revised its calendar year 2024 growth forecast for India to 7.1% from an earlier estimate of 6.8%, which is made in June. This expects growth in the Asia Pacific region to outpace the global economy. This is a positive news, but I don't think it's that significant. And I think basically right now the news we cannot drive us much more up. So that is why I've started to look at more shorting opportunities, whether it is on stocks, whether it's on index. As I think now it's time for everyone to prepare for what is going to be coming ahead. Now the first we're going to take a look at Axis Bank. Now Axis Bank has basically formed a box range here at the top. This is the daily chart. But since I'm looking at it more in terms of a short, I'll drop to the 2-hour chart, for example. Now, Axis Bank is a pretty simple trade. According to me, as long as Axis Bank stays between 1230 and 1265, this is a no trade zone. This is even longs are not going to get much. There is a resistance at 1250. That's a narrow box range, but this is a bigger box range. As long as it is within this zone, don't try positional on the upside or downside if you're an option buyer. If you're an option seller, you can do positional. I personally already hold CE cells above 1250, as there is basic scope for it falling, according to me. This is any rise even above 1250 can go to 1265, and maybe it goes a bit slightly above this by 5 rupees or something, but then it's coming back down. So how am I going to trade out Axis Bank? Axis Bank, as I said, I already hold option sells. Now if it breaks 1230, then I'll come and start selling options above 1230. But if it breaks 1230, apart from option selling, that's when I think option buying opportunity is going to come. And a break of 1230 will take us directly to 1215, and that might hold us for a day or two, and that's going to break, and then we're going to be going down to 1190. So my Axis Bank option trading plan is simple. I already hold CE cells above 1250. Between 1230 and 1250, I will not do any option buys, as that's a range which will crush everybody. I am not going to go long in option buys on this at any cost. Even if it does decide to go to 1265, I don't think it's worth it. If you look at it in terms of risk reward and everything, it's simply not worth it, as that will be a trap which will be set up. But if it breaks 1230, then I'll be taking a shot first to 1215. 1215 breaks, then 1190. But since option buys will get hit by decay generally, even if you enter October options, do not try to keep them for more than a day or two, even if they're hedged, as you will not be able to withstand the decay beyond a point. So if you are looking to hold it for more days, then I would say, and you've got the capital, then do the option sells and also do hedge them, as I think that is the smarter play right now for general F&O. Now we look at the second stock, which is ICICI Bank. Now ICICI Bank is one which I even discussed in one of the articles which I write for investing.com, as I had said that basically when we had reached this point, I said that if it breaks, it can go up, and that did occur. Now, after having that rise, we have seen that basically ICICI Bank has come and fallen to this zone. So now what is the trading opportunity here? Now again, I will have to drop to the lower time frames, not to intraday fully, but to hourly and 3-hour, for example, maximum. Now, how am I going to trade ICICI Bank? Now again, ICICI between 1340 and 1300 is a no trade zone. This is as you're not going to get a clean move within here, as it's going to break both sides. And why I say that is, number one, if you see there's a high volume bullish bar here. Now that high volume bullish bar, the issue with it, why it has not been able to drive the momentum up, is it has formed at the top. It's already formed at a resistance. There was strong resistance at 1340, there was strong resistance at 1355, so it was not able to take the stock further. So according to me, if ICICI Bank breaks 1340, then it's an intraday long to 1355, and if it breaks that, 1380. But this is not a positional long. Why? Because I don't think it will stick around for very long there. It may go there, stick around for 1 hour, 2 hours, and then it will come back down into this range. So according to me, ICICI Bank, my trading plan is simple. I have not yet entered option sales, but I will most likely be entering option sales above 1340, October expiry, not September expiry. And as long as it's within this range, I will, within even 1355 to 1300, I will hold my option sales, as the downward pressure will come. But if it breaks 1300, then it's an option buying short to 1275 and 1260. So again, option selling, pretty easy opportunity here, I think, coming up. And option buying, a break of 1300, it will have broken a high volume bullish bar. So breaking that will end up causing some shattering. So you can expect, but when it reaches this point to try to break it, there will be a bit of positivity and a bit of small dead cat bounces. And the minute it clears it, it's going down to 1260 easily, according to me. So I've shared my trading plan for ICICI Bank and Axis Bank. If you liked it, then also like the video and subscribe to the channel. And also you subscribe to the channel, as you'll be getting the general index expiry content and other stock content in the coming days. Thank you for watching, and any questions, drop them in the comment section below or WhatsApp them now to the number shared below.